A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are connecting with you with A to Y. How are you, Asi? I can't hear you.
I didn't say anything, yes, yes, I'm doing good.
Okay, for a moment, I thought you said something and I could hear you.
What's happening in UAE?
Things are getting better, weather is better, so we can walk out now. It's a bit colder, so not bad, Asi. Not bad.
But here in Sri Lanka, specifically in Kandy, it's raining like nothing. Continuous rain.
I
Continuous
hear a
rain.
lot of rain, a lot of floods. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, I think
Can't
the
help, it
whole
is what
whole
it
world
is,
is
right?
like that, right? Changing, and there's some kind of disaster happening in somewhere all over the world. So
True.
anyway,
Exactly. Exactly. It's actually what you said is related with today's topic as well. Yeah, I mean, friends, last week we thought to give you some special segment, bring you into certain important element, specifically in business to business area. I mean, it's not a secret, right? Yes, as a business to business, this particular segment is actually the, again, my personal opinion, is the backbone of the economy. It's fueling the world, it's fueling the economy, right? It's creates innovation in the worldwide. However, all these organizations going through certain challenges, I would say, especially in B2B business. So we are actually going to talk about that today, right?
definitely, Ajay, because what happens is like as you all know, these things come away from. We are talking on these topics based on real discussions we're having in real life with our
Yeah.
clients, with prospects, with people we
Mm.
consult. So we always want to share something that is relevant because we feel if that is a discussion, if it's happening in real world as in terms of a discussion, the chances of it being related to you also is going to be very high. So
True.
today's topic, Kazi, without any delay, let's talk about it. It's
Yeah.
about understanding this B2B marketing challenges because we thought
Mm.
we'll do a series because both of us have been involved in B2B marketing, B2B sales for a longer time.
Yeah.
We've been consulting for companies, we've been working for companies, and we've been bringing successful strategies to increase sales through marketing efforts, especially digital marketing efforts in the B2B space. So
Mm.
we thought let's look at before we even start talking about what to do, we need to understand what challenges are faced. So as
Mm.
the first step, Azi, today let's talk about a challenge that occurs in B2B marketing, or when you talk about B2B marketing, one of the challenges that is spoken is the internal beliefs we have, right?
True.
We know when you speak to our customers, we know when you speak to their employees, we hear a lot of challenges. And most of the time, Azir, these challenges are even non-existent. They're existent only in the mind of
Mm.
the employees, mind of the team, or mind of the management. So
Correct.
I'm not saying it's fabricated. All I'm saying is it is misunderstood. It is limiting them because of their thoughts, and this is one of the challenges that I felt it's good for us to talk about today. As
100%. I agree with you, yes, because sometimes our audience might misunderstand when we talk about internal beliefs. Are we whether we are talking about internal, personal internal beliefs? But here, actually, we are talking about the organization as a whole. What are the beliefs that you have towards you serving your customers? So that part we are going to touch upon, right? Isn't it, just us?
definitely, Asim. So I think let's start with perceptions, Asim.
Yeah.
Perceptions, perceptual biasness is something that is, I mean, they are everywhere. Even us, right? We are
Mm.
all humans. We are egocentric. We have our own beliefs. So these beliefs tend to sometimes put us off. This is why when we do consulting assignments, I say we always tell our clients, let's look at a clean slate. Let's
Yeah.
not assume anything, right? Let's
Yeah.
not take personal uh, or previous experience into discussion sometimes, because when you bring your experience, you're bringing in certain perceptions with them. You
mm,
are bringing in certain experiences, maybe that can be unique for you at that particular moment, but not the
mm.
regular, right? So this effect of you kind of thinking, just because I felt this, just because I've experienced this, everyone is experiencing,
Yeah,
is a myth. It can be wrong. I'm not saying it is 100% wrong. Yes, there can be a point to your experience. There can be a point to what you have, but if we try to look at things in a empty space, if you look at
mm,
like a empty whiteboard rather than putting down points like this is why things are not going to work,
yeah.
I think we can look in a broader sense. That's probably the first challenge that we need to overcome. As anything you want to share on that? As
Yeah, I like the idea you actually brought here as us, because now when as an organization, let's say if I'm talking to a client, and if personally I am facing a challenge related to this customer, so that I communicate with my leadership or with my team, right? So it's a challenge for the entire organization. So one person face one challenge, but when it comes to the respective departments or the leadership, so everyone should receive that challenge as one, because that way I believe, because rather than you are allowing individual to face that challenge independently, so here you have an entire army behind you to support that challenge.
definitely, Asi, definitely. And that's a good point, Asi. Now, from the point you mentioned, there are actually two types of people that I can think of. Maybe
Hmm.
three types, but mainly two types. Number one, the people who openly take everything what your team says, whether you're in
Hmm.
management, whether you're a team leader, or whether you're part of the team. When somebody says like, no, this cannot be done because of this reason, there's a set of people who will agree with you without
Hmm.
investigating and who would base decisions based on that. Number one, that is not acceptable. You should not be doing that. You should always question, because
Correct.
our thought process is all based on personal feelings, based on emotions. So if I, example, say, no, I don't think our target audience would like this message, it's a perception. It's based on
Yes.
my preference. It doesn't
Correct.
mean my preference is correct. Now, if you agree to my sentiment, you might make a wrong decision in that. But if you say, or if you ask a simple question, as okay, Asas, I would like, that's a good thought. I would like to hear why you think it
Hmm.
won't work. Now, maybe this is going back to some of our problem solving discussions we had in the previous session.
Hmm.
The first why would get them think like, okay, maybe because I don't like the whole idea. Do you, why you don't like the idea, or have you got any feedback from potential customers, or do you have any feedback from
Hmm.
previous customers?
Hmm.
Now you start questioning. It's not kind of being disrespectful. It's not
Yeah.
like an interrogation. You're just asking, you're clarifying things with probably the five whys. Now when
Yeah.
you start doing this immediately, the person who's objecting also will start seeing clarity. Suddenly they feel like, oh, maybe this is my perception. I'm not really basing it
Hmm.
on real data. And that
Yeah.
is very powerful. That realization would make them change. So that's the first type of people,
True.
the people who kind of agree with anything.
Yeah.
Then the
So I
second
like
type
to
of
add a
people,
point.
Azi, are the people who,
Sorry,
yes, go
sorry,
ahead,
yes,
Azi.
I like to add a point before I forget the point to what you said. Now, when you specifically said question the individual, what we are emphasizing here, you are not questioning the person. We are not questioning the integrity of the person. We are only questioning the idea of that individual,
Exactly.
and that's something that even in our organization we openly say to our team members, our colleagues, whether it's CEO, whether it's the founder, question the idea, not the individual. So
Exactly.
that way, we will have lot of clarity about the challenge and the idea. So yeah, over
That
to
is
you.
correct, Kasi, because we should never be afraid to question. It what matters is how you question, and that's where the second type of person comes into play. As
Mm,
the second type of person is a person who would always question you and would question not the idea but question you as a person.
Yes.
So the
Mm.
moment I say like I don't think I say this will work, if you're like, why do you say that?
Mm.
I don't agree with you. Now that type of questioning is a challenge. It's like you
Mm.
are challenging my idea, you're challenging my philosophy around that. Now that type of
Mm.
person is again also not good for an organization. If you
Yeah.
question just because you want to be a challenger, just because you want to say that you know better, it's not going to be effective for an organization.
Correct.
So we come across a lot of this type of team leaders, management, customers who kind of want to question everything without a reason.
Mm.
So that
Mm.
is also demoralizing your team. That also lets the team kind of be quiet and not give suggestions. So you should
Yes.
not do that.
Mm.
Then comes, of course, the third type, which is the ideal type, which can take things objectively, who questions, who looks at things in detail, and then make informed decisions. So coming back to the point, when you look at your belief system, internal belief system, it's all based on people. But what you need to base is based on real data. If you
Mm.
are saying something, if you're disagreeing on something, make sure you have data to back you. Data can be as a previous orders. Data can be surveys you've done. Data can be inquiries you got through WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or any type of platform, email or
Yeah.
chat, right? But if you have information or rather data, you can convert it into information and make it common knowledge in your organization. Then you can
Mm.
basically say, okay, this is why we are saying this. So many
Mm.
people dislike this campaign.
Mm.
If you look at this data, we'll see number of people have viewed it, but there's no call to there's no action taken on the CTA, the call to action,
Mm.
right? There's no results. So you start talking about that because the common problem that you'll find is people disagreeing for no reason. If you take the first category, example, you run a campaign and you get inquiries. And the
Mm.
classic example that where things can go wrong is they say the leads are weak, leads are
Yes.
poor,
Mm.
right? But does it really have a base? Maybe yes, maybe the leads are poor. But is it the feedback should be not that the leads are poor only. The leads are poor because of these reasons. Because this is
Mm.
the wrong profile. This is not the ideal customer. This type of customer is inquiring for some other reason.
Correct.
Example, we have customers who are in lingerie manufacturing. And when you
Mm.
advertise in lingerie, it attracts a set of people, especially males, who kind of inquire for no reason because
Correct.
of their personal, inquisitiveness. Now that's not target audience. Now it is
Yeah.
okay to say, look, this is this audience is wrong. This is not my customer. But if you are not really investigating that and you're just saying because you sent a message and said, hey, the price is this, or you're like straight away saying, buy it from our website and not being conversational and you're saying needs are weak.
Mm.
Now
Mm.
you are basing your information, your decisions on wrong information because the
Information.
management can say, let's stop this campaign, let's change the
Correct.
target, let's change the message. So you will take a lot of actions just
Correct.
taking a simple feedback by a team member without going into detail.
Absolutely. I mean, just to give an example for what you said, like a couple of months back, you already know the incident. One of our beloved employees actually did a setup for. I hope it's okay to share certain information just to give the highlight of the challenge. Did a campaign, and from the client perspective, from the client eyes, it was not giving the expected results. And from the employee side, from our end, from our organization, we were giving the expected results, so there was a gap. However, when we had that open conversation with the client and we identified actually the information, what you said, information was given but it was not utilized in the right way.
Exactly.
So so when you have wrong information, it's a trigger for a conflict, right? Yes.
Definitely, definitely, Asif.
By having that open mindset to communicate clearly and to resolve that challenge, then you can actually support that process, you can conquer that challenge.
Exactly. Exactly. So coming back to the challenge, look at your internal beliefs. Is it a belief based on perception, assumption, or is it a real information that is based on
Mm,
data? Now, if it's
mm,
not a personal belief and it is based on data, yes, action it and action fast.
mm.
So I think coming into today's topic, Kazi, one of the B2B marketing challenges, you get so many beliefs like that. People
Yeah,
from management level, from execution level, from sales teams, there's so much of assumptions, so much of
correct.
beliefs. And what we
Mm,
are saying is question these beliefs, go into detail, analyze it. By doing that, you will have better clarity, not just for yourself, but also with the ones who are questioning, who are kind of being superstitious, or who's being
yes.
what do you say? The word is, I lost the word, who's skeptic, right? Those who are
Skeptical. Yeah,
skeptic about that kind of either campaign or action, by questioning, you can really have a better outcome,
correct.
right? So I think, Asi, we've gone past 15 minutes mark,
Yes, yes,
and we should probably continue the discussion next week as well. But let's
correct.
talk about a different challenge, because today's
Mm,
challenge is about internal beliefs and how you
yeah,
need to counter it and how you need to kind of look at it in terms of making your decisions better.
yeah.
Because in B2B marketing, there's so many challenges like that. So the first couple of series we are going to talk about as is these challenges. Then let's go into detail into how we can really action, right? How can we take it to the next step? Any final thoughts, Asif, from your side?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting topic, Yasas, and I know 15 minutes is not enough. But if you feel that your organization required at least a little bit of our knowledge and our light, so just have a quick chat with us, quick call with us, and we will be able to help you to identify these challenges and help you to help your customers. So that's something that we can give it to you
Definitely,
as an expert in this industry.
definitely, Asif. I mean, that's why we're even spending time and having this discussion. So please reach out to us if you have any questions, if you want any clarifications. Uh, we are happy to help you. Of course, not on a continuous basis, but we can commit certain time with you to help you out on these kind of challenges. So with that, Asi, let's complete today's edition of A to I, and let's meet next week once again at 6:30 Sri Lanka time or 5 p.m. Gulf Standard Time.
Yes,
Signing off, I'm Yasas.
Namaste.
Have a good day.